Let's talk about hammers. Those are some chasing hammers. And so are these. These range from almost 3 ounces to 17 ounces or so. So I think it's like 3, 4, almost 6 or 7, 10, 13, 17 ounces. These pretty much do everything I need them to. I did end up making one of the super tiny hammers, and that has been super helpful for all sorts of tiny jobs, especially in the 1/8 like tool size. But a range of hammers is going to be super helpful. I like both of these styles quite a bit. John Williams of guildworks.com teamed up with me to make this specific pattern, and you can find this on his website. Sayan Charlstein of, I believe, SC Studios makes these. He makes a ton of other tools as well. I mean, both of them make a ton of different tools. Chisels, weird, unique, custom hammers in all different sizes and styles. Both have all sorts of different applications and different really cool aesthetic choices. And I just love leaning in and celebrating my fellow brethren and craftsmen. Here is a collaborative I did with John Williams, our buddy Angelo, and David both helped as well. Pretty killer team. This is a nice rounding hammer, and this was kind of my first attempt at cutting and chasing a big old rounding hammer. So that was a great experience. I'm about to do another happy little collaborative with my buddy Cliff out in Manhattan, and I'm super excited to cut and chase some more hammerheads. And I asked him, what Cliff was so friendly while he let me crash on his couch in New York last year, and we just wanted to do something. He makes tools. Everybody makes tools. When you make nice things, you sell them. You never get to keep anything nice for yourself. So we decided to do a little art trade, and in my half of this, I was like, okay, well, what tool would you love to keep out of all the things that you do make? And this was what he sent me. So I'm going to chase on this so that he can't get rid of it. He'll be forced out of guilt to keep it because, it'll have been something we worked on together. But that is not to say that those are the only styles of hammers. And my buddy Steve Grader at HessonIronworks.com, or I think it's just HessonIron.com. He hosts my classes down in Arizona. He is the only reason that I started teaching. I only teach because people ask, and as long as people keep asking, I will keep teaching. So as long as people think I can help, I'll do my best. So this is part of the, let me flush it out here real fast. And these. I'm going to go through this in more detail in a minute, but I'll have a whole video just based on chisels. But this is just after a master set of chisels that I thought were going to be super, super important for our workshops together. And he's been making those now for a few years and has them just super nailed down. And then this is the exact same set, but a much larger size. And they are super, super helpful. You're going to see them in most of my videos. I have duplicates of those to travel and teach with. So if you've ever worked with me in person, you have used Steve Grader's tools, and I've been using them for years, and they are super reliable. But I just wanted to talk about some of the hammers that I use in these projects, and you are going to see these throughout my work, just forever. They all have kind of a unique story behind them. I did get the awesome privilege to take a workshop from St. Charleston. It was just a 5-day workshop, and this was the class set size. So if you take a workshop from him, this is probably the tool range you're going to be using. John Williams, here in Sacramento, rescued me with these. When I was working on the Elephant, I was doing my best to work with tools smaller than this one, and it was hard. I'll tell you what, even with big chisels, without this tool, and the extra big surface area, oh man, it just saved my arms. It saved a lot of brutal effort. So, thank you very much, John Williams, for rescuing me, especially with this one, and collaborating with me and replacing some tools I had broken before for these two. But that is not to say that you can't make your own tools, and I have done so many times in order to get by. Repurposing other tools are kind of the name of the game when you are in league with yourself and alone and fighting the dark with just you and your art. And when you don't have a budget, something like this was a tool I used for probably years before I had money to invest in other things, or had done enough groundwork to make enough context to even just know what I was trying to find, because access to some of this information is not always super easy. So it is a privilege to share some of this information, and I will very likely go into more depth, but this is a overview just to kind of get us started.